So you want to make sure that the tape is nice and square to the head, that it's not like dipping down or pulling up. You want it to come straight across. Put your finger behind the tape, and that gives you a little bit of ease. And in this case, 22. Okay? So that's it. Right? And the formula that we're going to use is a really simplified formula. And that is R equals C minus 1 divided by 6. Okay? It has everybody. So we have our C, which is 22, right? Minus 1 divided by 6 gives us R. So 21 divided by 6 gives us R.
That's what is that?
Okay, I'm going to need my calculator. Heavens. My calculator. So when we do our calculation, it comes out to a beautiful 3.5. But what if we had 23 inches instead of 22? 6. So 22 divided by 6. 3.6 repeating. Oh, bummer, 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 bummer. How do we deal with this? Well, you could painstakingly find that measurement on your measure tape, and I'd really have to say probably shouldn't. So you're going to turn the back of your book, the appendix 2, and you're going to have this wonderful chart. And the biggest thing is, you're not going to find every decimal point on here. But what you are going to find is a set of brackets. So, 6, repeating, it's 6.65 or 0.68. Go with a higher one, and you always, if you find where it falls in between these two, and you go with the higher one. So that's 11/16. 3 and 11/16. There's the circumference. To do our compass. What's the obvious problem that you see? So if I'm going to do it, conveniently there's a hole. Put that right there. What is the obvious glaring issue with using the measuring tape that we have to correct for?
It doesn't have any degrees. The metal thing.
Ah, there it is.
Before.
There you go. So that's right, you're my client. So you get to say all the right answers.
Yeah.
Like my quiet brilliance did. Okay, so we have to take into account this little metal tip. And so we're going to measure it. And you're not going to take in the entire metal tip, just where it's going to hit. That's where the push pin is going to sit. That's what we have to make sure. And it's going to be 3/16. So add 3/16 to your measure.
How'd you get up in here? I just made a little incision right there. Just
3 and 16. So in this case, it'll be 3 and 11/16. Surprise. So we're going to look at our tape measure, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and then we have, so if that's 8/16, 9/16, 10/16, 11/16. And that's where you want to take your push pin and so 1, 2, 3 on this line. That's where you want to put your push pin right in the middle. So we now have our hole. Make sure that you have a little bit of lead in your mechanical pencil. put that right into the table. You're going to have to hold this because you can see if I put too much pressure on it, it's already going to start to give me, it's going to make a little, we're going to end up with an oval instead of a circle. So you need to make sure that your hand, that you keep pressure on the push pin, that you keep a little bit of pressure on the pencil, and that your pencil is straight up and down. It should come right into your circle, and if it doesn't, you'll clean that up. Do it again, make sure that you're correct. There it goes. So just go ahead and clean that up. Take away any of those extraneous lines. So how big do you want your hat? That's really what we're coming down to. So you can have it really small, like just 1 inch or maybe like 1.5 inches. And that'll look perfectly acceptable. Or you can make it like 3 or 4 inches, and that will look beautiful and acceptable. What we don't want is something that's teeny weeny, like 1/2 inch. We don't want something that's ginormous, like I'd like it at 8 feet. Really, that's kind of crazy. So keep it. It's all up to you, but just kind of keep it within the realm of.
What's the average for a?
3-4 inches. What's your preference?
Me?
Yes.
4.
4. All right, 4 it is. So, wait, can I borrow that ruler real quick? So make a mark at 4 inches. We could figure all of this out mathematically and, oh, woe be us to do it. Or you can actually just find out, measuring 4 inches from your circle, go ahead and make your hole. And this is always with the express thing. Don't tell Ellen that we're doing this to the tape measures. Okay. And you do the same thing. And you do the same thing. What is up? I know it's still someone's pencil, but whose pencil is this?
It's mine, but I used it from here. It's because you stole it from me.
It is. You cursed it, did you? Very, very nervous about your special power. Which? Okay. So there we have our 4-inch circle. So what is the obvious problem that we have now? So right now, here's a cut line. Here's a cut line. This is where I'm actually going to stitch, and this is where I'm actually going to stitch.
Seam allowance.
Yes, and why do we need seam allowance? Think. Why do we need seam allowance?
So that we can fold it over for a seam.
So that you actually, if you cut this here and you're expecting to sew there, it's just going to break apart. You're not going to actually make the seam, right? That's why we have seam allowance, so that you can actually, if there's something on the other side, you can make the seam. So, measure ruler again. Mark it at 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is the seam allowance you want to use on this, and you're going to do the same thing that you did to get the 4-inch.
Sorry, why is the seam allowance on the inside of that line but the outside of that? Because you're going to cut the one that you're about to draw.
So this seam allowance, if I were to do it on the inside of here, I'd be making this shorter than the 4 inches that you
Oh,
want.
I was seeing the other way as the inside. Not right.
Yep. So we would put it on the inside of the inner circle. and here on the outside for the same reason. But if we were to move it in, you'd be decreasing the size.
No, mine.
But good question. It was one I was about to ask. All right, are we good? So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Are y'all? Is this helpful to y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Even though I stole your pencil and I'm keeping you from doing your work.
Yeah.
But now you can. I mean, honestly. And a lot of this. So. So, are all y'all good? Do I?
We were just discussing when we were coming back to do it.
Okay. Okay. There it is.